Welcome back to Man Down Sports. As you can see from the thumbnail, Shannon Sharpe, Stephen A. Smith, they're the topic of discussion today. On Club Shay, Shannon Sharpe came and they did that thing. They did a podcast. They covered a whole bunch of topics, man. And the episode was so good and jam packed. I'm actually gonna take probably about 4 of the topics that they actually covered, and we're gonna discuss it, man. We're gonna play what they had to say, and then we're gonna discuss it. The main thing is what's going on with Skip, and Shannon actually opened up and kind of revealed some of the stuff that we was kind of assuming. Like, we couldn't really pinpoint exactly what was going on and what was going on behind closed doors, but they actually let some of this stuff out in this episode. Stephen A. Smith and Shannon Sharpe, and they was talking pretty much the whole time. I think Shannon had been talking to him all year. So we're gonna get into that, man. I'm gonna play you what they had to say and all that good stuff, man. And they had a whole bunch of other things to talk about as well. That was interesting. But before I even get to starting to play the audio of what they were saying on the podcast, make sure you subscribe to us on YouTube. Hit that subscribe button right now. Hit that like button as well. And share the podcast as well, man. Bring more audience to us. And if you're on Facebook watching this, head over to YouTube and subscribe over there as well. Without further ado, I kind of want to give you a backstory just in case you don't know. And I have a link in the description of an episode where I actually broke down the breakup between Shannon Sharpe and Skip Bayless, right? There was a whole bunch of heated debates, and some of those heated debates kind of crossed the line as far as what they were saying to each other and how I felt like they was crossing the line and disrespecting each other, mainly Skip Bayless. And I was like, man, this can't be good, right? So you can check those episodes out. I broke it down in one episode where it was one of the three of the biggest things. I think the DeMar Hamlin thing was huge, and the straw that broke the camera's back was the way he disrespected him when they was debating Tom Brady, and how he just laughed at his Hall of Fame career. I'm talking about Skip Bayless laughed at Shannon Sharpe's Hall of Fame career and like it was nothing. Like, he just spat on that, right? So I was like, that's a whole lot of disrespect. So I kind of saw the end when that was the beginning of the end. I said, man, that doesn't look good. That's going to turn out bad. And sure enough, it did. Right. So now that's the backstory. Now where we at is, of course, Shannon left, but now Skip is in the middle of trying to rebuild his show with people like Keyshawn Johnson. Lil Wayne done the intro. They supposed to be good friends. He done the intro music. And now he's actually making appearances on the show to help build it back up. Yeah, he's going to probably be there for 2, 3, 4 months until that show can get their numbers back up. He's trying to help his friend Skip Bayless get those numbers back up. They got Michael Irvin. They got Rachel Nichols. I mean, they're trying to put together a dream team of play. Richard Sherman. I can't forget about him. So they're trying to put together a dream team to build that show back up because I think the ratings are in the dump. With that being said, Shannon is over there at ESPN with Stephen A. now. So it was like they traded players. Like, Michael Irvin left ESPN because of the incident that he had with the hotel room. He ends up on Fox. Shannon leaves because of blow up with Skip Bayless, and he ends up on ESPN. It was almost like a player trade. And we already know the history with Stephen A. Smith and Skip Bayless, right? So all those people are caught in the middle of this crossfire, right? Between what's going on with Shannon and Skip, Stephen A. and Skip, right? Lil Wayne caught in the middle, right? So the key words I want you to, before I play this audio, it's going to be short. The key words I want you to have on your mind is subliminal messages, and winning and losing, right? I want you to have those key words in your mind. Listen to what indirectly Stephen A. Smith was saying, and have those things in your mind.
Okay. So it's like, okay, yeah, I want you to shine, and I want you to be you, because I'm gonna be me.
Right.
And so here we come, and the audience is watching. How do you know that? Because you paid attention to the audience.
Right.
You're not sitting up there manipulating them. You're not disrespecting them. You're showing them you appreciate them because you're paying attention to what they're telling you and showing you they want. A lot of times you have talent, and it's like, listen, this is my lane. And there's something to be said about that. When you know who you are and you know what you bring, that's not to be disrespected. That's to be appreciated. Okay, here's his strength. Well, if I have a different strength, how do I get to complement that so he can shine while we shine? That is the objective when you're trying to win. And it's applicable on the football field, on the quarter plate, or on the television set. But how many people are thinking like that? I'll tell you who. The winners think like that. The losers don't.
So that was a response that Stephen A. Smith had to a question that Shannon had. And if I remember correctly, he was asking him about when you're having those moments that go viral, when you have your debates. Do you know when it's going to happen, or are you purposely doing it, or what? And he's explaining that process. But when he got toward the end, he started talking about how, look, no matter what type of debate we have, if it's a heated argument or a disagreement, you know, he pretty much said, look, I'm not maliciously trying to tear you down. And he said he's very aware of everything that they do. He's pretty much saying that it's somewhat theatrics. We know what the audience want to see. I know what your strength is in the debate format. I'm going to allow that to be seen. And I know what my strength is, and I'm going to allow that to be seen, because the whole point is we supposed to win together as a team. I'm not trying to win the debate, and I'm not trying to win by any means necessary, even if I had to tear you down. It's not personal for me, right? That's what Stephen A. Smith is saying. He said it's all for the audience. The audience want to see that. You have a strength that the audience want to see. You have a perspective that the audience want to hear, because it's people that think like Shannon that want to hear his perspective, and it's people that also think like Stephen A. They want to hear his perspective. If it's a million people that think like Shannon and a million people that think like Stephen A. Smith, and we allow both of those points to get out, we just satisfied 2 million people, right? That's how he's looking at it, right? And he said the winners think like that. Key word: the winners think like that. Subliminal shot. Well, let's look at how, what was said just today on Undisputed when Lil Wayne was a guest appearance.
That song gets in my head.
We up here cheating though. That's cheating. We cheating on theme songs. We cheating.
Oh, no, definitely.
Yeah, we cheating for sure.
Yeah, I'm gonna make sure we win.
I texted you yesterday. It just gets in my head and it won't let go in a good way. And I just on FS1. I just sing it all day.
That's unfair. No, that's unfair.
Yeah.
Now we gonna make sure we win though.
He's Keyshawn. I'm Skip. This man needs no introduction.
I'm gonna make sure we win. To keep that, they played the intro music. Lil Wayne is right there at the desk, and once they start introducing the show, Keyshawn was like, "Man, we cheating." He was like, we cheating, man. We got a Lil Wayne with a rapper. We're cheating. That's what he's saying. Like, man, we're really cheating. But this is a cheat code to get a rapper with so much influence and so much fans to have him on our show helping us out. He said it feels like cheating. I get what he's saying. But Lil Wayne was like, I'm gonna make sure we go win. I'm gonna make sure we win. So he's accepting the challenge. And I don't know if y'all recognizing and noticing what's going on, but there's a little something going on between Stephen A. Smith and Skip Bayless, right? There's a little something going on, right? They're still colleagues. They still got a lot of respect for each other. And Stephen A. Smith always will say, without Skip Bayless, I wouldn't be here. He gave me a chance on First Take, and this is why I'm sitting in the seat now. So he'll never say anything where it feels like he's disrespecting Skip. But it might be some healthy competition. It might not. I don't know. But they're throwing subliminals at each other. That's for sure, right? Lil Wayne said, "I'll make sure we go win." So he's helping his friend out, Skip Bayless, and he's gonna make sure. Look, man, we go bring this show back on top. And Stephen A. Smith has no restraints about how he talk about his show's been number one for 12 straight years. That's what he's saying. So for the morning debate shows at that time slot, or any morning sports shows in that time slot, the morning show, I think his is number one. I don't know if his is number one overall, but for that time slot, yeah, they're number one. And he brags about it. So that's just the tip of the iceberg of some of the things that was said. Those was the little subliminal shots. Then they get a little bit more direct as they go on, right? So I want you to take a listen to this conversation between Shannon and Skip, or Shannon and Stephen A.
And so for me, it's like I look at you, I think that you're smart, you're obviously incredibly accomplished. You ain't gonna never hear me say, no disrespect to anybody, not to bring up nothing, you ain't gonna never hear me say 3 Super Bowl championships and Hall of Fame status don't mean nothing. I don't roll like that.
Right.
That's not who I am. I'm the kind of person that I argue with you about football, but I want the audience to know, yo, you the football expert.
Right.
Not me.
Right.
I'm the reporter that walks in and I'm like, this is what I saw. Tell me I'm wrong. Mm-hmm. This is what I'm seeing. Tell me I'm wrong. This is where I'm coming from. Just like me and you talk about. Right. I know you. I don't give a damn how much basketball you know. You don't know no more basketball than me. I've been covering. I learned from living legends and all this stuff, but I still want to hear what you have to say. If you can listen to me talk about football, why the hell can I listen to you talk about basketball?
Right.
And so all of that, and then your heart, being a conscientious brother, caring about the issues that you caring about, speaking about the issues that you speak about. Nah, brother, iron sharpens iron. And yeah, I got Mad Dog Russo. That's white. I got Dan Orlovsky.
So he said you never go hear me say a 3-time Super Bowl winner and a Hall of Famer don't mean nothing. This is the straw that broke the camel's back between Skip and Shannon. That blow up they had with about Tom Brady, and Skip accused Shannon of being jealous of Tom Brady, and that's the reason why he's so critical of him. And he said that he's jealous of him because he's the GOAT and he's the best that ever played your sport. And he said, man, look, why would I be jealous? I'm in the freaking Hall of Fame. I'm one of the best tight ends to ever do it. And he said, Tom Brady's better than you. You know what I mean? And just, I mean, he just, he said, man, I'm on 3-time Super Bowls. He was like, that don't mean nothing. Like, he basically just said, nothing you've achieved done anything. And this is someone you're supposed to be working with, that you work with for 6 years. You got a business relationship with, right? That should be respectable. Like, it should always be respect if I got to work with you every day. Like, when did it get to the point where he felt like it was that easy and he was that comfortable crossing the line and disrespecting Shannon Sharpe? It was crazy. They had to end their relationship, right? But there's another somewhat sort of jab, but not so much sort of, because he was being specific about what Skip actually said. The only thing, he didn't say Skip's name, right? So he was being specific, like, now you ain't gonna hear me say anything about a 3-time Super Bowl champion and a Hall of Famer is not nothing, right? Here's more.
Man, Stephen A, man, he's strong-willed, he brags, blah, blah, blah.
Right.
Shannon, strong-willed, iron, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
How is that going to work?
They don't know.
You know what I tell people?
Yeah.
I'm going to say 2 people that strong-willed can absolutely get along.
That's right.
As long as there's respect.
Absolutely.
The moment one disrespects the other, the other loses respect for the one that disrespected him.
Right.
So now it's just a matter of time.
Exactly. And that's not going to happen.
No.
Because I don't roll like that.
I don't either.
I don't roll like
No.
that. It's like, yo, I'm going to argue with you about your points. But you know what? We going to agree. We going to disagree. But at the end of the day, we brothers, and we going to sit up there and try to do what we can to make our product shine.
Right.
That's our responsibility, because if we do otherwise, all we're doing is inhibiting the other success.
Right.
We're getting in the way of what we're trying to do.
Right.
That makes no sense whatsoever. And not only that, it's setting a bad example for our community. If I really need to get deep about it. Because what happens is that, so they can't chill. They can't sit up there and do a show together. They can't get along. You see that crabs in the barrel mentality, blah, blah, blah. Nah, man, we showing something different.
Right.
First take, I've been blessed and fortunate enough, throwing shade on nobody. We've been number 1 for 12 years. We're going to be number 1 for 13. It's just that simple. And 14. And damn it, if I do it for 15, it's going to be 15. That's the way it's going to be. That's how my mentality is. And I don't root for anybody to fail. I just root to be the best.
Right.
And there's the difference. And as far as I'm concerned, anybody that's with me, we the best. This is what we're gonna do. So now it's we. It ain't Stephen A. It's we. And when you come to First Take, because you ain't start yet, you gonna see it's a family. You gonna see we get along. It ain't fake. We roll with one another.
Right.
We vibe with one another. We watch one another's back. It has always been that way under my stewardship of the show. And I can say my stewardship of the show because the show was handed to me. They ain't come to me and I just took the title and all. No.
Right.
They came to me and said, it's yours. You're responsible for it.
Mm-hmm.
If I didn't want Shannon Sharpe at First Take, Shannon Sharpe wouldn't be at First Take.
Absolutely.
That's just how I roll.
No question.
But I had to come out that day because with all that you were
Bro,
going
when you
through,
telling me this behind, see, what you're saying now is that you told me months in advance because you was telling me things that were going on at Fox. Hell, I didn't know it. I'm like, hold on. I drive to this building every day. How the hell you know what I don't know? You telling me, bro, it's going down like this. It's happening like this. And I'm just scratching my head. I'm like, I'm at this building every day and everybody cheesing and peasing in my...
Was I right?
You was absolutely spot on.
Say I was right. You know. And by the way, it wasn't because of Fox. It's because I know the business.
Right.
I've been here for 30 years. I can see it a mile away. You know, I can see the handwriting on the wall. I knew when it was over for you, bro. I'm gonna be real with you. I knew when it was over. And
so that gives us a little bit more of what I mean, first of all, that clip was about 3 minutes long. They said a whole lot, right? So but let's start from the end when Stephen A. Smith said, I saw the writing on the wall. I knew when it was over for you. And evidently they were speaking and talking to each other on the phone. Shannon Sharpe said so in this actual podcast. They've been talking. They was talking the whole time. And he said that Stephen A. was telling him things that was going on in the building at Fox as it pertains to him and his situation there. And he was like, how the heck you know that? And I work here every day and I don't even know that. These people I'm talking to and smiling with every single day that's making decisions behind my back about how I'm going to get up out of there. And the whole while you privy to it and I'm not. And Stephen A. Smith said, man, I just know the business. It ain't like Fox told me. I just knew the writing was on the wall. I knew when it was over for you. And I can kind of believe that because the same way Skip got Shannon up out of there is the same way Stephen A. Smith got Max Kellerman out of there. Right. So they did the same thing. And if you look at what Skip is doing now, it's the same blueprint is what Stephen A. Smith is doing. Right. So you start out with this debate show. Right. And Stephen A. Smith, he was going one-on-one every day with Max Kellerman. And that went on for years. I don't know, maybe 4 or 5 years. Right. And when Max Kellerman first got booted off the show, Stephen A. went on a couple of podcasts and explained this is what he wanted. He told the bosses that he said the show got stale. All right. He said the show wasn't progressing. He said, I wanted to stay number one. It got stale. So instead of him getting a new person to sit across from him every TV show, he did it a little different where he had a revolving chair, a revolving door of people coming in and out of the building. For football on Monday morning, he had Michael Irvin so they could talk about the Cowboys and that'd be a theater, right? For basketball, he had Kendrick Perkins and Jay Will come on. For other football things, he had Orlowski come on. So he just had different people coming in for different things. JJ Redick come in when it's time to discuss anything that got something to do with race. You know what I mean? So that's how he was doing it. So I want you to look at how they did it over here at Fox. And I called this out months ago in the video. I said, man, this looks exactly like what Stephen A. Smith did to Max. Skip Bayless started having these issues, and it was the same thing. Max and Stephen A. was having issues on the air. Remember when Terrell Owens came on and said, man, Max Kellerman blacker than you and all this stuff, and they was having, Max Kellerman took Kaepernick's side, and Stephen A. was against Kaepernick, and that was going on. Like they had a bunch of issues where they was butting heads and it didn't look good, right? And that was making Stephen A. look bad, and it was probably making the show look bad. But for some people it was not, because we enjoyed to watch Stephen A. Smith get crushed like that. by Max, right? So it was the same thing on Fox. Skip and Shannon was having these heated debates that got ugly, that crossed the line, and the same thing was going on. That's why Stephen A saw it. He knew what was going on. He knew him and Skip worked together, and they both snakes. They both the same type of people. That's why they respect each other, but that's why they stay away from each other. They respect each other from afar. They both snakes. You can't trust neither one of them. That's why he could look over there and see what was going on. He knew what was going on. And the same way he got Max Kellerman out of the building is the same way Skip got Shannon up out of there and made him look like he was the problem. And he knew his career was about to get destroyed because now where is Max Kellerman at? Right? It was a death wish for me to get you out of the building. And I'm telling all the people that's the bosses, he ain't got it. He ain't got the talent. And you get that kiss of death. Max Kellerman went on that show with Keyshawn and Jay Will, and that show was dying. Now where's that show? Canceled. Now where's Max Kellerman? We don't know. As a matter of fact, he's fired from ESPN. He was one of the guys that got let go. So he got that kiss of death. And Stephen A. Smith saw that Shannon was getting that same kiss of death from Fox. And he wanted to make sure Shannon landed on his feet. Plus, Shannon is really, really good talent. Really good talent. So it ain't just about helping Shannon out. It's about helping Stephen A. Smith out too. He got somebody that's real good. And furthermore, think of it this way. And I'm glad ESPN didn't get his podcast. He got his podcast away from Fox. That's great. Shannon brings his podcast. He didn't bring it to ESPN, but if they would have worked that deal and ESPN got Shannon a talent like Shannon and got his podcast, Shannon Sharpe's podcast on YouTube has 1.25 million subscribers. He has athletes, entertainers, singers, comedians. He had everyone on his podcast. He had Tabitha Brown on there one time. That done about 2-3 million views. He had Candy from Escape on there. That one did about 2 million views. He had Steve Harvey on there. His podcast is outstanding. And I really wish he would not have did the deal with the volume, but I get on that on another video. Just think of it this way. Shannon Sharpe has 1.25 million subscribers. The Volume, who is a podcast network, got half of that. It's going to take them 2 years to reach, 2-3 years to reach what Shannon is at. And what Shannon going to be in 2-3 years? What, 4 million? Right? Pat McAfee, and he did that in like less than 2 years. So Pat McAfee, his show got built up to about 1 million followers, and he got a huge deal with ESPN to bring his podcast on. But that's another topic, right? So the reason why Stephen A. Smith knew what was going on with Shannon is because it's the exact same thing he did to Max Kellerman. Skip did it to Shannon, right? Now, the other thing that Shannon said at the beginning of that video or the beginning of that audio was, once you respect your colleague, once you disrespect somebody, then now I can't respect you because you disrespected me. That's basically what he said. He's giving you insight to what happened. Yeah, he did feel disrespected, right? He did. We all saw it. It was on national TV, right? And it was one of those things. I think Skip knew the whole time. He had been talking with people saying that, hey, look, I think the show needs a shakeup. And he's doing exactly what Stephen A. Smith did. Instead of him getting a new co-host that's going to sit adjacent from him and they going one-on-one, he's got a whole panel of people that's going to be coming in like a revolving door. It's the exact same thing Stephen A. Smith did. It was one other thing that he said in the audio. But I think those were the main 2 points, and you heard it and you can play it back. I just think that whole situation was just crazy. But I'm glad Stephen A. Smith was able to help Shannon land on his feet. I'm glad he was able to get access and ownership of his podcast because he built it up, real good. He deserved to have that, and it's a really good podcast, man. So I think he's gonna have a lot of success. Can't say I'm looking forward to watching their show because I don't like theater when it comes to these type of debate shows, man. I'd rather watch some good YouTubers, So they just too fake for me. you know. So I can't mess with it. But every now and then I react to some of their stuff, you know. But y'all let me know what y'all think in the comments about that. Do you see the similarities and what Skip did to Shannon and what Max Kellerman got done to him by Stephen A? And also, do you see the little rivalry that's going on that Lil Wayne is caught in the middle of, and he's trying to help his friend out win? Like he said, man, y'all let me know what y'all think in the comments.